It's really packed in there. Hey everyone, Kevin here with MountainHuggers. Today I'm going to walk you through all the gear we brought on our Fastpacking trip up the Lost Coast a couple weekends ago. If you didn't see that video, go ahead and check it out in our YouTube channel to see what that trip was like. So today we've got basically all the gear we brought on that trip, and I'll kind of walk through it all and talk about what worked and what didn't work. So first of all, we've got our pack. This is a new pack that we got specifically for Fastpacking. If you saw our first Fastpacking video, you notice it's different from the pack I had there. After that video, we kind of thought that backpack was a great day pack, but for Fastpacking it had kind of a few shortcomings. And so we ended up settling on is the Osprey Talon. And it's the Osprey Talon 30 liter. So 30 liters is about the smallest pack we thought we could go that we could still carry enough gear for kind of longer trips, not just overnights or a couple nights like weekend trips, but maybe even, you know, week-long or longer trips. So especially for, you know, carrying more gear and heavier gear, it's nice to have a little bit more sturdy and supportive of a pack rather than something without any support. And the Osprey Talon or Tempest is the women's version, kind of fit that bill. So first I'll show you the back. So the back has got this really kind of nice support, but it's not overly stiff. It also breathes quite well because you can see there's kind of this mesh, and so your back is actually separated from the fabric of the pack itself. It also has pretty substantial waist belts, you can see here. So that's really nice because when we are hiking up steep hills, you don't want to have all the weight of the pack sitting on your shoulders, and it's nice to kind of be able to take that weight off and kind of distribute it to your hips like a more traditional backpacking backpack. And when, you know, for a 30 liter pack where you're carrying a little bit more weight, that's especially nice. So those are really nice to have, although they did kind of start rubbing a little bit, but I think that's more of a fit issue. I think we need to just kind of figure out how to get it to fit around the right part of our waists in order to avoid that from happening. And then it also has some nice side pockets for water bottles. And I think one of the big advantages this pack has over the pack I was using last time are these kind of cinch cords. So there's a bunch of straps and cords around the pack that allow you to really kind of cinch it down around the gear that's inside. So even if you don't have it stuffed to the brim, you can still tighten it down enough that things aren't moving around. And that really wasn't the case with my other pack. So I think that is a really good feature of this pack and something that's pretty important for Fastpacking in general. The other nice thing is it has this outer pocket, so you can see I've got my flip-flops, and it has another strap here that you can kind of tighten this however much you want, and it fits my flip-flops just perfectly. And then on top, it has another pocket that's pretty easy access, where I kind of was able to store some of the stuff we wanted to use throughout the day, but doesn't necessarily fit in the hip belt like you might foam. So let me show you what was inside, what we kept inside this top pocket. Super lightweight too. This whole pack is really lightweight, but pretty durable material. So great pack for, you know, what we need it for. In this top pocket, we've got GoPro Max, which is what we use for all of our filming, which is great. We've got the selfie stick to go along with the GoPro Max. And then right now I've kind of just got basically a bunch of snacks. So we had some stroop waffles, some goos, and I think some gels as well. So these are all really nice for kind of as we were going, because it doesn't, you know, require you to really take a long stop, and you can kind of eat small bits at a time to keep you going without getting too full. All right, so that's kind of what I had in this top pocket. And then if I open up the main compartment, you can see that there's another pocket on top. So this is where I carried some of the other stuff that I might need kind of quick access to. So things like our emergency kit, headlamp, cup, and rope are all stored in here. And then the other nice thing about this pack that was not the case with that Black Diamond pack is that the actual main compartment is a draw cord. So it's kind of a stuff sack design instead of a zipper. And so you're able to, it has a much wider opening that you can get a lot more stuff in and pack it a little bit easier, but then you can tighten it and really cinch it down when you're done. So I'll open that and show you everything we had inside. Okay, so on top I've got my new sleeping quilt. So we moved from a sleeping bag to a sleeping quilt because the quilts are quite a bit lighter and packed down a lot more. So this particular quilt is the REI Magma quilt, and for this trip it did great. It's definitely not as warm as your traditional sleeping bag, but you know, it did the job, and you're able to put it around your sleeping pad, which is really nice. But we kind of need to figure out, you know, how to cinch it down around us a little bit better. So if it does get a lot colder, then you know, we can turn this into more of a sleeping bag. All right. Let's see. Also on top, we've got the jet boil. So this is what we cooked all of our food in, and it's awesome because it's basically self-contained cooking system. Cooks within like 2 minutes. Your water's boiling. It's amazing. You're not waiting for 20 minutes for water to boil. And then sleeping pad. So this is the Big Agnes Aircore Ultra sleeping pad. And I have used this for a while on backpacking trips and just regular camping, and I love it. Pretty lightweight, very comfortable, a little squeaky and noisy, but once you get used to it, you know, after a long day of backpacking or running fast packing, you're so tired that it doesn't really matter that much. So I love it. Little towel for, you know, drying off. It's really packed in there. This is a stuff sack that I've got all of my clothes in. So it's actually a dry sack, which is really nice because first of all, if it rains, all your clothes stay dry, which is very important. But also, I sweat a lot when I'm running, especially when I have a backpack on. And so sometimes you can sweat through the pack. So even if it's not raining, if you have some stuff kind of along the back, it can get wet. So just keeping all of my clothes in this stuff sack, make sure that when I get to camp or at the end of the day, all of my stuff is dry, which is great because you do not want to put on wet clothing. All right. And finally, last but not least, we've got our tent, which is the REI Quarter Dome 2. And this is an awesome tent. We did not get it specifically for fast packing, but we got it for backpacking. And it's light enough that we're able to still use it for our fast packing. It's 3 pounds total and fits Courtney and I very comfortably, which I think is more than you can say about a lot of 2-man tents. So yeah, highly recommend this tent. Works great, easy to set up, very comfortable. All right, so that was basically everything I brought in my pack, but obviously that's not everything you need for an overnight. So that's the nice thing about going with another person. Courtney is able to carry some of the other gear that I didn't. So since I was carrying the tent, she carried some of the other kind of communal gear like the food. So food-wise, we ate this for dinner or other things like this. Just the, freeze-dried backpacking food, but after a long day of hiking or trail running, these taste amazing. They're also super light and easy to pack. You're not gonna, ruin it. So, highly recommend. She also brought our fuel canister for the jet boil. And finally, she had the water filter. And this was a new purchase for us. I have always used the kind of old school pump filters, and those are, they're great, but they're kind of bulky. They take up a bag that's like this big. They take forever to fill your water bottles. And so I heard about this recently, and it's awesome. So the Cadidine Be-Free water filter, this is it. That's all it is. It's literally this water bottle and this little cap. And so all you need to do is basically fill this up with water. This is the actual filter itself. So you just screw that back on and boom, you're ready. You've got your water that you're ready to filter. So you can either drink out of this directly or use it to fill up other water bottles. We found it takes like just a couple seconds to fill up, one of our other water bottles with this. So it's super fast, unlike the pump filters. So highly recommend. Takes up zero space in your pack and is basically, weighs just about nothing. So huge fan. The only other thing is that the filter does wear out after I think like 1,000 liters, which is plenty for a through hike. But if you're using it for a long time, you'll probably have to replace it. But the filter's only like 25 bucks, which is not a whole lot compared to paying over $100 typically for those pump filters. So highly recommend. Definitely what we'll be using in the future. And yeah, that was it. That was everything that we basically carried. The only other piece of equipment that we got specifically for this trip were trekking poles. So I've always been kind of a skeptic when it comes to trekking poles. I've always thought, why do you need them? If you're hiking or running or whatever, you can always just, power hike. I thought they were kind of more of a hassle than they were helpful, but honestly, for this trip, they were awesome. I think especially when you're carrying a pack, especially if it's a heavy pack, these are great because when you're going downhill, you can really use them to kind of stabilize yourself and take off weight as you're going. So I think I saved a lot of stress on my knees and my back because of these, and they're super light. So you can, when we were running on flats, I could just pick them up and run with them and didn't feel like you were carrying anything. So really no harm there. And then when we were going up the steep stuff as well, with the heavy pack, it was really nice to be able to, kind of take a little bit of that weight off of you and, kind of almost pull yourself up some of the hills. So I still don't think I'll use it when we're just hiking or running, trail running even. But if I'm carrying a pack, definitely will bring these along. So I think they save me a lot of impact on my body. All right, so that was it. That was all the gear we brought with us on our fast packing trip up to the Lost Coast. It all worked out really well for us. So if you have any questions about the gear we showed you, please let us know. Or if you have comments or ideas about things that we're missing out on, also please let us know. Add your comments below. And thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it, and stay tuned for more Mountain Hugger vlogs coming to you soon.